Zach and Co.
Well, being able to discuss financial goals while taking the initiative towards achieving it are the key steps towards thinking like an entrepreneur. Here with tips and tools is financial expert and author of the book, Yes Energy, the equation to do less and make more. We have Loral Langemeier. Great to have you here, my friend.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you.
It's good to see you.
Yes, so
good to be back.
I want to dive into this topic of money because we all want to be financially stable, but the big part is talking about it. Why is it so important that couples be able to talk about money in a relationship?
Well, first of all, they don't, and they're not taught to, right? And 82% of divorces happen because of money issues. So it's critical. It's not just important. They've got to learn to talk about it. And so that comes from income goals, asset goals, spending goals, saving goals. Like what are we going to do as we make money? Are both parties working? Or, is one going to be a stay-home parent? So all of that needs to be in a conversation, and it's just kind of avoided. It's sort of like it's just going to keep working out the way that it's worked out, and somehow we'll find our way. And like I said, 82% of the time it doesn't.
Yeah.
There has to be just a sit-down, kitchen table conversation, set some goals around what do you want your life to be?
Yeah.
Critical.
It is critical. I agree. And what about as a parent talking to your child? When should you have that conversation with your child about money? Because you want them to understand the concept, right?
Right away.
Okay.
I mean, so first of all, I think the conversation should be healthy in the household anyway.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be just like, today's the day, we're going to have the money meeting, right? It should just be a healthy conversation. So I start young. And so like, when they lose their teeth, right, from being tooth fairy, like the kind of money, like I introduce different kinds of money from around the world. We have, the privilege of doing that. But we talk about coins when they're little. We talk about dollars. We show different currencies. So I think just money and your ability to make money, because most conversations in the household is what we can't do with money, and it's a negative conversation. So I think straight out it needs to be a healthy, positive conversation and an abundant one.
And truly an understanding what money is
and what it is. And it just doesn't come out of the little ATM machine.
Yes, exactly. It certainly does not grow
It doesn't
on trees,
just come out. Yeah.
That would be amazing if it did.
Yeah.
And in regards to a child's perspective of money, I think you kind of already hit on this, though. So obviously, an adult's kind of opinion on money and work could easily influence your child, right?
It actually does. In fact, the first 8 years of a child's life is when it actually gets subconsciously embedded. So in the household, if the conversation is, don't ask for it, we can't afford it, and it's negative, and then they hear the parents fighting about money or just stressing about money, they'll actually internalize that, especially as a young child, that they're not worth it or deserve it, or they're the problem of it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm costing you so much money.
Yeah.
So it's really critical that the conversation is, well, how do we fix it? How do we have more? Or if there is going to be a conflict, you don't have it ever where the child could hear it, because they don't know how to internalize it, especially up to about 8 or 9 years old. You have to be very, very careful and very positive, because it does affect them for the rest of their life.
So if a couple does have money as the issue in their relationship, what do? They
need to get a mentor, get a coach. I have a whole series in my Yes Energy book. In fact, I have a link on the website they can go to where we actually help them craft a conversation. But I find most of them, they're so stuck, and once emotion gets involved, they can't find their way out. So they got to usually find a third party that can help kind of coach them, guide them through a neutral party. What's your income goals? What are you going to do with your income? And here's the biggest one I always anchor to. Where do you want to be 50, 60, 70-year-olds when you're going to retire? Because there's only about 30% of the world that's ready for that. Why do 80-year-olds still work? Because they don't have enough cash flow. So if you set a goal together further out, that helps guide your spending and investing rules, because they're going for a goal together. If they don't have a goal together, then it tends to keep wandering away. So they got to hit that goal together.
Well, what if a couple, though, has a different perspective of where they want to be, or they have different spending mindsets?
Then you have yours and you have yours, and you have one in the middle. So you have a household account, and you each have your independent incomes and spending. So I find that a lot with investing. Like, one person wants to do real estate and the other one wants to stay in the stock market or do different investing. So they also can, I also make that a fun game. So which investing strategy is going to kind of outperform.
That's a way to kind of be positive with the
it's going to make it fun, right? And then if one outperforms, you're obviously going to guide the other one. But I usually say separate, divide and conquer. Plus, it does diversify your risk.
It really does.
It does diversify your risk.
The two different
and then you have a household account you both contribute to.
Yeah, and you never know. In the long run, that may actually be more profitable.
It actually is.
Yeah, because you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So conflict can actually be a little positive if you approach it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where can people go to find out about your book? And you have other resources too.
I do. I have 5 New York Times books, and I have an awesome program for kids. In fact, my son was part of the development of it. Never pay your kid an allowance. So when you go to the website, ABC website, and you click on the link that I have. It's liveoutloud.com/gifts, and there's a bunch of gifts there. There's actually a whole sequence of my book, How to Have the Conversation About Money, How to Never Pay Your Kid an Allowance, which is a super fun program to put in the household around just being in weekly conversation with your kid.
That's great.
Fun stuff out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, always good to see you. Always good to see you.
Thank you.